6 months ago, I posted a video called The Hardest Part About Language Learning. And in that video, I talked about the hardest part about language learning, which is motivation. I posted that video because during a period of time from about late 2020 to early 2023, I had this massive slump in my language learning. And I wasn't motivated to actually learn languages every single day. I felt like I was forcing myself to do it. And because of that, I ended up missing a lot of days. And for the days that I actually did learn, it wasn't for as much time as I wanted to. And in that video, I talked about the various methods that I tried to use to keep myself on track, such as Chrome extensions that block certain websites, then also using a community, or I guess being in contact with a community to know that there's other people just like you, and also various quotes and things like that. But the point is that none of those techniques actually worked. And this video is sort of a follow-up video to that one, because even though I tried a lot of things in that video, I was focusing on the wrong thing. And motivation isn't the problem. It's actually a much deeper problem than that, which is habits. So between the time that I posted that video and I'm recording this video, my light just flickered, sorry. I read the book called Atomic Habits, and I read it in Spanish on this. This is my Kindle. I got it for pretty cheap on eBay. But I read Atomic Habits over, I think, May, June, July. And it really changed everything when it comes to learning, not just learning languages, but also picking up good habits across my entire life. And I really wish I had read this book earlier, because it changed, it like rejuvenated my motivation, but it wasn't motivation, it's habits. And little habits, like doing something little of language learning every single day, it solved my problem, and it got me out of that slump or that rut. So it's based upon the idea that motivation is short-term, but habits are long-term. Like, for example, the reason why your New Year's resolutions always end up failing is because you start them at New Year's. You have this big motivation, this big push, thinking you're going to do something, you're going to change your life radically at the beginning of the year, but it never ends up working because the motivation eventually fades away. It's the habits that really stick. So motivation is short term, but habits are long term, and habits are the things that you should focus on. And you should focus on them because habits control your life without you even realizing it. Like, for example, you're probably watching this video because you're addicted to YouTube, just like me. You open YouTube whenever you're bored on your computer, and you clicked on this video because that's just how YouTube works. It's a habit, and YouTube knows that we're going too deep into the rabbit hole, but basically you have a bad habit of looking at YouTube when you're bored. Another example of a bad habit could be maybe you get bad sleep every single day because you have a bad habit of staying up late on your phone when you should really be sleeping. And a third example of a bad habit could be maybe you don't eat healthy because you have a habit of every time you leave work or school, you go to the drive-through. You go through the McDonald's drive-through because it's convenient, and that's why you eat unhealthy. So those are examples of how habits can really control your life without you even realizing it. And you should take control of your life by taking control of your habits. So I learned a lot of things in Atomic Habits, but one of the biggest things that contributed to getting me out of my language learning slump or rut was a 2-minute rule. So let's say you have a really bad habit, and which is that bad habit is eating potato chips. So you end up you have a bad habit of eating tons of potato chips every single day, and you just want to figure out why. Like, how can I stop this? So you start tracking it. Let's say on Monday, you're tracking how many potato chips you eat. You open up the bag, you eat just one, and you don't want to eat anymore, but now since the bag is open, you end up eating the second and third potato chip, and before you know it, half the bag is empty. On Tuesday, the same thing happens. You want to just eat just one potato chip, but once the bag is open, it's so tempting, you start eating the second and third, and before you know it, the rest of the half of the bag is already empty. So that's kind of the idea behind the 2-minute rule, but it's not, I should specify, the idea of wanting only something little, but ending up with something a lot is a core idea of the 2-minute rule. So that's an example of a bad habit. But what if you could take the potato chip example and turn it into a good habit? So for example, instead of aiming for one potato chip but ending up eating the entire bag, what if you could do the same with a good habit instead? Like for example, what if you wanted to read every day? Let's say you wanted to read 1 minute every single day. On Monday, you say, I'm really tired today. I don't want to do anything, but I'm just going to read one minute. So you read 1 minute, but by the time that 1 minute is already passed, you're thinking to yourself, this is actually pretty interesting. I'm engrossed into the story. I haven't finished this chapter. I'm about to finish a chapter. The climax is coming up. I should keep reading. And before you know it, 30 minutes have passed and without you even realizing it. When you initially aimed for 1 minute, but you ended up spending 30 minutes because you got engrossed into the story. So let's say Tuesday happens, the same thing, the same idea happens where you don't want to do your habit, but you think, I just have to read for 1 minute every single day. And you read for 1 minute, but then you become engrossed in the story. You start thinking about what's going to happen next. And before you know it, maybe you've spent an hour reading. Now on the third day, Wednesday, now let's say this day is really bad. You've had trouble sleeping the past night. You're really tired and you think, man, I really don't want to language learn, right? I don't want to read today, but all I have to do is 1 minute. So you just read 1 minute and then put the book down and sleep. So for all 3 days, whether you did 30 minutes of studying or 30 minutes of reading, an hour of reading, or 1 minute of reading, you completed your habit for every single one because your base habit was only 1 minute. And since you aim for just the 1 minute, you're probably going to do more, and you're taking advantage of, I guess, that psychological phenomenon. So it's kind of similar to one of Newton's laws. I can't remember which one, but the one where it says that like an object in motion, I guess an object at rest stays at rest unless a force acts upon it, then it puts it in motion. So basically the idea is like it's hard to originally get you to start reading, but once you do start reading, then it's easy. Actually, no, I should rephrase that. It's hard to get you to start reading, but once you do start reading, it's hard to get you to stop reading. And that's the idea behind the 2 minute. I think I messed up 1 and 2 minutes. It doesn't really matter as long as you can complete the habit on the worst day of your life, then that's the goal of the habit, whether it's 1 minute or 2 minutes. So that's the example of the 1 minute, the 2 minute rule. But how have I actually used this in my day-to-day life? So just like the example that I said of reading 1 minute a day, a couple months ago, I told myself I'm going to read at least 1 minute of a Spanish book every single day. And I read it on my Kindle. I think I can't remember if I showed this, but that's my goal. And every single day I read for at least 1 minute on there. And it's really helped in terms of actually getting things done, because sometimes I have bad sleep or I'm really tired. And as long as I read 1 minute, then that's my goal. My goal is completed for those days. It also extends to watching videos. And this is actually kind of a genius trick, I guess, because let's say if there's a 10-minute YouTube video, if I say every day I'm going to watch at least 1 minute of a YouTube video, by the time I watch the first minute, I'm probably engrossed into the video, and I'm probably just going to watch more anyway. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that I want to see more of the YouTube video later. So that's an example. Excuse me. That's an example of how I use this. I'll call it the 1 minute rule. An example of how I've used the 1 minute rule for not only reading books but also watching YouTube videos in foreign languages. But this also extends, well, the principles of this book and the rule extend not just to language learning, but also for just any habit in your general, or any habit in your life. And that's why I think this book is so powerful. For example, there's these chess puzzles. Let's see here, switch the screen. So every day I'm kind of like an amateur in chess, and I've told myself I want to get better at chess by solving chess puzzles. So what I do is a bare minimum of one chess puzzle every single day. And there's this feature, I use Lichess, and you can do Puzzle Storm. And basically it says, or the idea behind this is you have to complete as many puzzles as you can within 3 minutes. But as long as I aim for just one puzzle a single day, then my goal is complete. Look, for example, this one is probably this. Yeah. So there's the puzzle's done. And now I could, for example, I could stop for the day because my puzzle or my chess goal for the day is complete. But now the timer started, I'm already engrossed into it, I'm probably going to do more. And that's the general idea behind how I use the 1 minute rule for chess as well. Another thing is exercising. So I haven't been the biggest proponent of exercising. I don't really exercise, or haven't exercised much until very recently. And I guess the biggest problem behind exercising is that I thought I had to exercise for like half an hour every single day, and I just don't feel like doing it sometimes. But we have this at my house. We have this home gym where we have this mat and some dumbbells, so it's convenient to exercise. What I tell myself every single day is, every day I'm going to do 10 curls every single day, at least 10 curls. And when I wake up, I do 10 curls, and I think, well, I'm already exercising, so I might as well do some push-ups and sit-ups and so on. And that's how I've used the 1 minute rule for exercising as well. And then this one isn't really, well, I'll get to the water one in a second, but there's writing video scripts. If you haven't realized, posting one video every single month that are usually scripted, I'll get to why this video isn't scripted in a bit, but posting one scripted video every single month takes a lot of work, and I've had to really develop my skills and my habits in terms of writing videos. So every single day I make a habit of, I use Google Docs for writing my scripts. So I make a habit of every day, you don't even have to write a single word of my YouTube script. I just have to open the Google Doc. But by the time I open it, I'm probably looking at the screen, looking at things I can edit, and I'll probably edit it from there. So like on the worst day of my life, if I really don't want to write part of a YouTube script, all I have to do is open up the Google Doc and close it, and then my habit is done. So the final one, I guess this one is, maybe it doesn't belong here, but I'll still put it here anyway. It's drinking water. So I have a really bad habit of not of forgetting to drink water. So I have this app on my phone called Waterminder for iOS, and it's basically an app where you can track how much you drink. But I primarily use it for the notification feature. So every day from something like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., on the top of every hour, which is like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and so on, I get a notification, like a sound. And whenever I hear that sound, I know that it's time to drink water. So that's also an example of, maybe it's not an example of the 1 minute rule per se, but it's a simple habit that I've, it's been inspired from the book, that I can say. So that's an example of the 2 minute rule. I guess a good video that really describes the 2 minute rule is this video. This channel is Goldmine, Better Than Yesterday. This video, it's only like 9 minutes long, but it explains the rule really, really well, and I highly suggest that you watch that after you watch this video. That's how I've used the 2 minute rule in my daily life, not only for language learning, but also for other activities. But primarily for language learning, that's been the thing that got me out of my rut and got me out of my slump. So I'm very grateful that I learned about this. I wish I learned about it earlier. Now there's a second thing, which is called implementation intentions. So I tried this, I tried this like 3 or 4 months ago, and they really, really worked. So I highly recommend them. So an implementation intention is a way of specifying, or I guess building on top of the 2 minute rule. Like for example, let's say you want to have a habit of reading every single day for at least 1 minute, like I said before. So let's say on Monday, you wake up, you get dressed, go to work for 8 hours a day, come back, watch TV, sleep, but then you never actually read. So you never actually specified a time or a specific condition that you're actually going to read. So what an implementation intention is it's the idea that you're specifying when you're going to do it or where you're going to do it. So for example, instead of saying I'm going to read every day instead of saying I'm going to read every day for at least 1 minute, you should instead say I'm going to read every day for at least 1 minute at 9 a.m. Or even better, I'm going to read every day for at least 1 minute at 9 a.m. on the sofa, because you're specifying it, and it's a lot harder to back out on your habit deal, because you're specifying exactly when you're going to do it and when you're going to do it, and it's even better to say where you're going to do it. So this technique really did work for me. I did these kind of chain habits where I'd say like every day at 9 a.m. I'll read for at least 1 minute, 1 minute of a Spanish book. At 10 a.m. I'll read 1 minute of a Mandarin book. And this really did work. Like for a period of 2 to 3 weeks, this technique, I really thought it was going to save me, but it didn't end up working because I have some sleep issues, and sometimes I'd still be in the bed at 9 a.m., but other times I'd have woken up already by then. So my regular sleep cycle was kind of messing that up, but that actually leads me into the next part of implementation intentions, which is a coping plan. So as we all know, life happens. Sometimes you get bad sleep, and you're not always going to be able to complete the task at the specific time. Like for example, if your task is to read every single day read every day for at least 1 minute at 9 a.m., sometimes you're gonna, I don't know how your life is, but sometimes maybe your boss might call you in and say, hey, can you come in at 8 a.m. instead of your usual time? Or maybe you'll get bad sleep, so you'll still be in the bed at 9 a.m. But and life happens. So the point of coping plans is that you're designing a situation. You're accounting for life happening and saying, basically, if I'm not able to complete the task, then I will do this. So for example, a coping plan would be the base habit is I'm going to read every single day at 9 a.m. But if I can't read at 9 a.m., then I'll read at 10 a.m. So you plan for alternative cases, because you probably won't be able to complete the habit for all the days of your life, and you're accounting for when you're not going to be able to do it, and already having accounting for that in advance means that you're probably not going to back out or I guess give up the habit altogether. So that's kind of all I want to talk about, or most of what I want to talk about in this video. But let's see here, choose the right one. There we go. So I've created this, which is a checklist of things that I do every single day. I've kind of combined both. I combined some aspects of the book. So the 2-minute rule or the 1 minute rule, whatever you call it. I have like these habits here where I say like, I'm going to read for 1 minute of a Spanish book, 1 minute of a Mandarin book. This is, darn it, man. I need to blur this out. I'll tell myself to blur that out. That's an unreleased project. But 1 minute of, sometimes I like making music on the side. So I'll say I'll just open up FL Studio, which is you can Google what FL Studio is. It's a program for making music. I'll open that up for 1 minute, make music, close it. And that's my basic habit. And I've used this as, I guess, like a combination of the 1 minute rule and the implementation. And I guess I shouldn't say implementation intentions, but another thing of that Atomic Habits talks about is chaining habits together. So I do all of these habits in order, which makes it a lot less likely for me to back out on a habit. And since they're simple, like I could do these on the worst days of my life. Like, could I read just 1 minute of a book on the worst day of my life? Yes. Could I just do, well, yeah, that's the 1 minute thing is the point behind the 1 minute rule. I'm really losing my train of thought. But yeah, let's see here. Another thing that I want to talk about is that if you want to learn more about implementation intentions, aside from just watching, or aside from reading the book, so there's this video by better than yesterday, which talks about how to actually get things done by implementation intentions. And this talks about what I just talked about, but it elaborates on it a little bit more. So I highly recommend to watch this video as well. But also just, read Atomic Habits. That book really changed my life. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about. Now I guess as my outro, you'll realize that this isn't my normal type of video. I usually have scripted videos, and you should not get used to this type of video where I'm just talking at the camera and reading off of an outline. You do not get used to that, because this is not me at my best. I'm only posting this video because the video that was supposed to have come out today is just taking too long. So as I've said before, I believe on my YouTube banner, I've said I'm posting one video on I guess the start of every month. So one video on January 1st, February 1st, March 1st, and so on. And all my videos are scripted, apart from the videos where obviously the interviews aren't scripted. But all my main videos are scripted, which means I write an outline, I script every single word, and I record it. And doing that every single month, it doesn't sound like that much, but it really is a lot. I usually end up recording my videos about 4 or 5 days before I upload them, which means that I have to do this not really in a month, but 3 weeks. So imagine just for a minute. Imagine writing an outline, rough draft, and final draft in 3 weeks. It's brutal. So the video that was supposed to come out today is getting postponed, and I kind of had to throw this video together just to have something to show for the 1st of August. Yeah, the year is flying by. So yeah, do not get used to this type of video. The next video I post should be a scripted type of video, unless I get my C2 score back for my Spanish C2 test. If I end up passing that test, then I'll post a video on that. But if I don't get the exam score back by then, or if it's a failure, then no C2 video for a while. So yeah, as I said before, I guess that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Yeah, just don't get used to this type of video where I'm rambling off of an outline and not editing the video, or barely editing the video, and not really scripting the video. Do not get used to that, because this is not me at my best, and I'll try to post. I will be posting scripted content in the future. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for this video. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, or like, comment, dislike, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.